Our idea is a smart dorm room, and a smart dorm room it's actually a lazy dorm room. Thus, we have the name Lazy's dorm room. Because if it's smart, you won't have to move much. And that's the idea. Our idea of the project is with just your simple mobile, by sending emails, whether you're on a couch or in the bed, and even if you're out, you can just send an email and control your room. Our project contains an LCD linked with a keyboard. This LCD will be used to enable communication between dorm mates, because sometimes you might not be really comfortable with sharing your personal information with your dorm mates. However, you'd like for them to be in touch with you if anything urgent happens, which is why they can just type something on the keyboard, and if they press enter, you receive it on your email. And additionally, you could also leave for them a message using the LCD. That solves the communication problem. What about the laziness? Well, we have a lamp which would simulate the lights, connected to the Arduino with an relay module, and with that you can just close and open the lights without leaving the comfort of your bed. It was like, let's be real, how many times did you wish you had the powers of the Jedi to just close the lights and go back to bed? And also there's this servo motor which we use to simulate the opening and closing of the door locks. You could be tired from college, and when you return back you just want to sleep, but like the door is way over there, so you can just get out your mobile, send an email, and the door's locked. Let's see the details, how we implemented it.
Okay, so this is a web page that supposedly controls the home peripherals. If we want to close or toggle the light, we press on this button, toggle the light, and as a proof concept, this LED blinks, and if you toggle it again, it will close. What happens basically is this web page is sending a GET request to our Wi-Fi home server, and the server responds with giving a command to the Arduino, and the Arduino controls the peripherals as instructed. Also, there is a communication between two Arduino controllers. They communicate over I2C and basic signal communications. What happens is there is a master Arduino and a slave Arduino. The master Arduino sends whatever message that it receives from the internet, and the slave Arduino parses it and executes.
Fortunately, we faced a lot of problems. We first bought the Wi-Fi module ESP8266, and we bought 3 of them, and 2 of them actually burned out, and one somewhat worked. And as my colleague Youssef has demonstrated, he was able to create a server using the Wi-Fi module, and he was able to control the LED lights with jQuery, and that's all using ESP. And then we proceeded to use 2 Arduinos, 1 slave and 1 master. The master is connected with the ESP, and it acts like the brain, and they both communicate serially with I2C, and slave connected to all of the other peripherals or the other components. However, we weren't still able to fully control the components that we wanted. So then we just thought of like solving the solution and outsourcing the internet functionality to our computer, and also we created a server that would also be hosted on the computer, which would enable us to connect to the internet and receive emails and parse them, which would make it easier to control these elements using the Arduino, and it would still be connected to the internet, so it's like an Internet of Things project. We use the Node-RED, which is kind of based on Node.js. Let's break it down and demonstrate how everything works.
Good evening, my name is Mahmoud and I'm gonna talk about my part in the lazy room system. Here we first try to integrate the bulb, which should light up once a visitor come to visit the owner, using the infrared and the relay. The relay, its main job is to shield the large volt that will come from the bulb AC, which is about 200 over 200 volts. It should shield it from the rest of the DC circuit, so we have been using it. And the infrared should be used to once the visitor runs to a room, it should cut it and light up the bulb, but it actually didn't work out a lot. So we used the magnetic tag, which is like we can represent this like an ID, which once it will once the visitor comes to the visitor's room, to the owner's room, he will slide up the tag, the magnetic tag, or we can say like the ID, and once it touches up, it lights up, and the visitor can enter the room.
First, let's see the keyboard. The keyboard is a normal keyboard, however it has the old PS2 socket, which we found a PS2 connector for, and it's connected to the Arduino. And as you can see, we also have an LCD screen connected to the Arduino, which would ideally be in the front door of the dorm room, which would allow communication. The first row, like this row, is used for the user to leave a message, or the dorm room owner to leave a message to like his or her friends that are passing by. And the bottom one is used for communication by the user. Like if you can see here, I can instantly type using the keyboard in the screen. I can also like erase it. I can also like write a message, hey. And if the user presses enter, this would be sent via email to the user's email address. For example, if I type, hey, what's up? As you can see here, that's what's written on the LCD, and if I press enter, it instantly disappears, or it's actually being sent. And we can open the email and see. So as you can see, it's a message saying, hey, what's up? And it's delivered to me, and yeah, the email is called lazydormroom@gmail.com. What about if I want to change this top part of the LCD? Well, all I have to do is just send an email which with subject message, and the body has asterisk #m, then space and the content of my message. So I'll press send, and like as you can see, it still hasn't changed. Give it like 5 seconds. There. Please, more gifts. And if we look here in the email, as you can see here, the content is please, more gifts. What about if you want to open up the lights? Well, you simply send an email that says light on the subject to the following email and click send. Wait a minute. As you can see, the relay module is on. However, might need to be straightened out a bit. Yeah, there it is. Now, if I want to turn it off, I just send an email called light off to the following email and wait. Still sending. Now it's sent. Yeah. And yeah, I'd like to say that we've had to use another Arduino for this, because when we used the same one which was connected to the LCD, it didn't have enough or sufficient power to activate the relay module. It's the same thing with the servo motor. Just like send an email to open the door. With the command door on. It's being sent. There. Now if we want to close the door, same message, but like instead of door on, do it door off. Door off. It's currently being sent. Still being sent. There. As you can see, it works, and it enables you to be lazy as you want.